Hello everyone. So yesterday I was talking about the silly beliefs and checks that I did with my breastfeeding, and today I just wanted to touch up upon solids and how it was as a new mom, treading that path. So one thing I was really anxious about was to not do the wrong things. So that made me really nervous about what I was doing and whether it was right. Obviously joining the support group for weaning, traditional weaning for Indian mothers was very helpful. There was quite a lot of information telling that we shouldn't distract feed the child, we shouldn't force feed the child, and also when to start solids. So waiting for 6 months was the absolute guideline in all groups. Even the breastfeeding supported 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding and then introducing solids after 6 months. But the silly me wanted to wait for 182 days exactly. Uh, but then the right thing to do was to wait for the baby to be able to sit by herself or by support, and then like and eat the food. So lose tongue trust, wherein they stop pushing out the food. So these are two important milestones, and obviously interest in food of the adults. So these three things were actually the key to identify if the baby is ready, but I was hell bent on 182 days. So then, not understanding really what is the sort of food I should introduce, how I should introduce. So that was the other mistake I did. So basically, all these 6 months, the baby has been drinking only mother's milk. Now, mother's milk doesn't have added sugar, added salt. So that means that the baby solids doesn't need any sugar and salt. This much I could understand, and I was sure that I am not going to add any of these things to her food. But then, in terms of texture, I had quite a lot of doubts. So one constant thing was that baby has gums and baby can bite and chew using them. But then at the beginning, when you start introducing at the end of 6 months, when you start, the baby has only been drinking milk, so it is not even used to semi solid structure. So I guess that is where feeding solids a little soft and mushy, that is easy to swallow, is helpful. But then slowly, I was fixated on the timings, the sort of food that I wanted to give, and I was like, add breast milk to everything. So that didn't work out. If I was doing some carrot puree, I was trying to add some breast milk to it. It was a little, awkward, and then eventually things smoothed out. But yes, the first year of introducing solids, I was like a mess in terms of what I was doing. But then later on, our association with solids picked up. So now I know that the baby actually eats what we eat. So now at 4, she actually likes what we eat, the same old dosas and idlis and everything that we have. But yes, her spice tolerance is less, so she takes it less spicy, and she loves flavorful stuff. So without any spice, without much spice, I make flavorful food for her, and she enjoys them. But I guess in my anxiousness and um, you know yeah, I think with my anxiety, I kind of did some wrong things in terms of the first year. So what I did was I was giving her a lot of the Satamav Ganji. So what happens is baby need variety. So every day when I started giving her the Satamav Kura, it became a monotonous affair. Not that she didn't eat it, but generally now I feel like maybe I should have given her more variety in terms of the food. But yes, we did something right. Like there used to be snacks in forms of carrot and almond shake, so those were healthy. And some good habits that we got introduced to was eating fruits. So once she crossed the 8th month, 9th month, small slices of fruits I had given her. So we didn't do everything wrong. We did some good, some bad, and overall it has helped her. The good things was I used to encourage her to eat by herself. Uh, so like most of her vegetables she used to self feed. The rice I would feed to her, and then fruits. So fruits she used to self feed. So by the 10th month or something, if I give her a banana, she was able to hold it in her hand and eat it by herself. Now once when I had given her some papayas, she choked on them. The one important thing that every mom needs to know when they are starting solids for the baby is to do basic first aid. So basically, I just picked her up and patted on her back. I had her slightly lying down on my thighs, and I patted on her back, and the piece kind of came out. And choking is very common when babies are introduced to solids, and sometimes they cough it up, and sometimes they need mother's help. So always food is under our guidance, under our watchful eyes. So these were some things that she also learned how to handle texture. You would have always heard of children who are being used to pureed food. So that is one mistake I didn't do. I had given her textures, and mine was fond of sweet paniyaram and yeah, those type of textures. So yes, some things we did wrong and some things we did right. And one major mistake I did was I fell prey to distraction feeding a little while later. And to this day, there are times when distraction feeding is happening, and there are times with her favorite foods that she self feeds. So those some things I do feel I should have done it better. But then end of the day, when your child is introduced to varieties and they're able to eat, I guess that's half work well done. So to all the moms who are listening to this, yes, nobody is perfect, everybody makes mistakes, but we make an honest attempt, and what matters is we are giving the child the best for them. So these were some of the mistakes I did during solids, and I hope the others have a better understanding of this and do not repeat. And if you have any doubts, please comment so that I can help you. Yeah, so see you in a different video. Thank you.